If you have ever been consistent with your goals, you have probably noticed something interesting. Most progress doesn't come from one perfect day. It comes from showing up every day, putting in good energy, and slowly building momentum. Day by day, you improve, your confidence grows, things start moving in the right direction. But then one bad day happens. One frustrating conversation, one unexpected setback, one moment that throws you off. A bad day doesn't just affect your productivity, it can break your momentum and pull you out of a productive mindset. For a long time, I thought these bad days were caused by the event themselves, but after paying closer attention, I realized the event usually wasn't the problem. What happened afterward was. Think about a day when you're highly motivated, you have your schedule planned, you're making progress, and everything is going according to plan. Then suddenly a conversation with a coworker, manager, friend, or family member annoys you. Maybe they said something you didn't expect, maybe you felt misunderstood, unheard, or unfairly judged. What often happens next is you replay the conversation in your head, then you tell one person about it, then another. You look for validation. You want someone to agree with you, and even after those conversations, you continue having the same argument in your mind for hours. The problem is that while you're doing all of this, your energy is slowly being redirected. Your focus is no longer on the things that actually matter. The event itself may have lasted 5 minutes, but now it has taken control of the next 5 hours. Maybe you're still working and completing your tasks, but your efficiency is gone. Looking back, I have realized that many situations didn't deserve that much of my attention. So now, when something unexpected happens, I try to pause and process it properly. I tell myself, that comment surprised me. I wasn't expecting it. Maybe it's just their opinion and I can't control that. If there is something useful I can learn from it, I'll write it down and will think about it later when my emotions aren't involved. Then I move on. Because something that could have been handled with 5 minutes of awareness shouldn't be allowed to steal the next 5 hours of your day. Let me share one experience that made me realize this. About 3 years ago, I was working in a corporate job in Ireland. One particular day, I was very excited and in a great mood. I had a vacation coming up in 3 days. My work was organized, my schedule was planned, and I had even decided to cook a healthy meal that evening. Everything was exactly how I wanted it. That afternoon, I had a meeting with my manager. It was supposed to be a simple discussion about the week's work. The meeting went smoothly, everything felt normal. Then, during the last 5 minutes, I mentioned that I had booked my flight home for 2 days earlier than the date we had originally discussed. The reason was simple. I was flying internationally and the earlier flight saved me nearly 300 euros. I had seen many co-workers do similar things before and it had never seemed like a problem, but her response wasn't what I assumed. The conversation suddenly involved much more friction than I expected, and I was told that HR would need to be involved. A meeting with HR was scheduled for 2 hours later, and honestly, those 2 hours were very distracting. My focus disappeared completely. Tasks that should have taken 30 minutes suddenly felt like a lot of work. My mind kept jumping from one thought to another. Was I wrong? Did I misunderstand something? Was this really a big deal? We had handled similar situations before without even involving HR. So I kept comparing all the thoughts with the past experience and trying to understand why this time was different. I spoke with co-workers, I replayed the conversation repeatedly. I tried to predict every possible outcome. By the time the HR meeting started, I was already exhausted. The HR representative listened to the situation and handled it calmly. She also told me that my manager had said that I was doing good at work and that she didn't want this incident to damage our working relationship. In other words, the entire situation was resolved much more smoothly than I had imagined. But despite that, the damage had already been done. My energy was gone. The healthy meal I planned never happened. I ordered takeout instead. My productive day had disappeared. The next morning, I woke up completely fine. The problem wasn't the incident anymore. The problem was realizing that how much energy I had wasted reacting to it. I spent hours trying to figure out the right and wrong in the situation. I tried to understand what my manager was thinking. Maybe I disrupted her plans. Maybe she simply viewed the situation differently. The truth is, none of that mattered. I could never fully know what was happening in someone else's mind. And more importantly, I didn't need to. Not because I didn't care, but because I cared more about channeling my own energy. That experience taught me something valuable. Whenever small incidents happen, I don't want them to take ownership of my entire day. I want to deal with them honestly, completely, and consciously, but only for the amount of time they actually deserve. 5 focus minutes are often enough because the truth is, unexpected situations are always going to happen. Someone will misunderstand you, someone will say something you didn't expect, a plan will change, a conversation won't go the way you wanted, and that's normal. The real question isn't whether these moments will happen. The real question is what happens after they do. Do they get 5 minutes of your attention or do they get 5 hours? Because that's where most of us lose. Not because of what happened, but because we continue carrying it long after it happened. The other person may forget the conversation by the next day. Meanwhile, you have lost your focus, your energy, and a day that could have been productive and meaningful. So instead, focus on what is actually within your control. Direct your attention towards the things that you can influence rather than the things you can't. Because overthinking rarely brings relief. Most of the time, it only leaves you feeling frustrated that the day is gone and nothing meaningful came from it. So, the next time something unexpected happens, remember this: don't spend the next 5 hours reacting, spend the next 5 minutes processing. Because most bad moments aren't what ruin our day, it's the attention we continue giving them afterward. Direct your focus where it matters and direct your energy where you want it to go. And with that, I'll end this video here. I hope this helps you become a little more aware of where your attention goes and how much power you give to small moments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.